Hello there. I'm going all natural with the lighting at least at the moment, and I realize also that I don't have I got my headphones plugged in but not into my microphone, so I can't actually hear myself except, you know, how you hear yourself normally when you speak, but I will actually change that. Maybe yeah, I'm going for the big ones today. I feel like it. Anyway, I spoke a little bit about my travels to Croatia, which I yesterday, but I was there this summer. So it's about it's 4 months now, about almost 4 months, not quite. Yeah, I was there in June, and it's October now. Yeah, it's October. Yeah, it's October. Quite uncertain, but I just started to think about a little bit that I I met a British girl there. It's quite funny how I've I was standing in a bar. There was in we lived on it's called Brač, the island we stayed on in Croatia. It's a beautiful island. The scenery is amazing, and there's like these huge mountains around there, and the island is mostly mountains too. But on the other side of the sea, it's like insane scenery. But anyway, we lived in this small town or outside this small town, stayed there for 18 days, or we didn't actually stay there 18 days because we stayed for 2 days in Ball, which were nearby, because we lived in a town where like 300 people lived. It was quite nice. It was very nice. We had a very luxurious villa we rented, but we went to Ball, which is quite a very popular tourist destination, and we stayed maybe I don't know, it was like 30 minutes away, maybe 20, 30 minutes away, maybe a little bit more. But anyway, we were staying there in hotel room or two, even, or apartments rather, that we rented to. And we were out at this bar or club, more bar actually, but it was a little bit of both because it didn't really or there was a nightclub actually that existed, but it apparently was quite shit. But maybe I will get to that later. But it wasn't open always, and we never went there, or I didn't go there at least. But so we were at this bar, which basically were the place to be to some extent, and we just chilled out there. It was our first night there, I think. Maybe our second. No, it was the first. But anyways, I noticed this girl. I find her very cute, and oh, my friend's calling. I'm just gonna boop click that away. But I noticed this girl who I found like extremely cute, and I just yeah, she caught my eye. And yeah, the funny thing is, like, I ordered, and for some reason, I don't know, maybe I looked at her a bit, but I guess it was enough for when I was standing by the bar and then leaving. This guy came to me and her, like kind of between us, and asked if we knew each other, which we didn't, and like he winged me quite hard. I don't know if that was in his intention or it was the other way around, but I think it might have been a nice guy actually using a very successful winging technique, because like that brought us a little bit closer, and we could just I just started up conversation after that, like saying that was weird or something like that. because when, even though it's usually when you actually speak to someone a little bit and someone's like tries to jump into the conversation, another guy for example, you will get closer to each other because that guy is an outsider and you know each other better than, yeah, you two know each other better than the complete stranger that just tries to join conversation. But that's basically what happened. We started talking a bit, and yeah, that night we also were on like the dance floor. It wasn't much of a dance floor, but some people danced. I danced too. So I don't quite remember how it happened, but we talked with them for a while. Me and a friend talked to these two British girls. They were British, if I didn't say that earlier. But yeah, they were very nice, very cool. It later turned out that they were 18 too, and yeah, I'm 22, so a little bit of a age gap. Nothing big though. Like not, I have no problem with that. 4 years isn't a lot, especially also girls tend to be a bit more mature than men or guys. It depends on what you consider man, but I consider me a man today rather than a boy at least, but I'm still like quite uncertain if how what I should call myself because I don't. Never mind. That's not the point. We talk for a bit and we end up like dancing on the dance floor for a while, and I talked to a bit of her other friends. Like it turns out they're a group of four girls traveling. uh Sky, Lucy, Emmy. Sky, Lucy, Emmy, and who's the last one? Oh yeah, Tash and Natasha. Yeah, that they were four. Yeah. We However, we talk for a bit, we dance a bit. That night, nothing really happens. Like it's their first day there, so they quite jet lagged. So they leave at, I don't know, a bit earlier than us, a few hours earlier. And we end up going there the next day too. We stayed there 3 nights now, when I think about it. I think. However, yeah, we go there the next night too. They're not there. I don't remember what I did that night really. I don't think we did much. We drank. I don't think I talked to a few random people that night. Met some Norwegians and just talked to people around the world. It's not too special speaking to Norwegians when you're from Sweden, really, but I don't interact with Norwegians that often. It's not like just because we're neighboring countries, they're not like everywhere in Sweden. I rarely go there. But I have a little bit trouble with understanding Norwegian. Swedish and Norwegian is very very similar, and we can understand each other if we speak. But the Norwegians tend to understand Swedish a lot better. But yeah, nothing. They don't go there that night. I was like hoping to meet her again, just because. Yeah, I felt. I don't know. It's just I wasn't in love. I never. It never went that far, but I just had interest in her. Like she caught my attention, like the moment I saw her, basically. So I was hoping they will be there the next day, and they weren't. So I thought, like, fuck, I missed my opportunity. I should have gone a little bit harder or whatever. You get my point. But yeah, we go there for the third day in a row, our last night there, and then they turn up. Like we actually meet them that night again. So, oh yeah, like the first day, I can't remember if we actually, maybe I only met two of them the first night, possibly, and met the other two the third night. I can't remember, but met them again, started talking, and my other friend connected quite nicely with the other girl. Like they sat and had a conversation for a few hours. Like things seemed to go real well. They seem to enjoy each other's company, but yeah, it's, I don't know, like uh, the girl I've like found attractive, and we talked for quite a bit too, but it wasn't like easygoing conversations too much. Like I had a little bit trouble keeping the conversation going. Or it kind of like it didn't get a good flow back and forth. As you may know or understand now, at least, is that I can ramble a lot. I try to avoid that, to constantly talk, because I'm capable of doing that. But also, I rather fill the spaces than no one said anything. So, but I also didn't try. I tried to ask questions and stuff like that, but I didn't try to be too boring about it. Asking things, I tried to get in. I don't know. Try to string up interesting conversation, and I just, as, yeah, it's a period where I talk about a lot of existential stuff, and it's where a period where I thought a lot about my existence and stuff like that. And we talked about that a bit, and we also like danced that night too. She introduced me and a few friends of mine to the rest of her group, and we danced and we talked a bit and stuff like that. But that night, we're out dancing or speaking. I can't remember quite, but she's going to grab some air, she said, and I said that I would tag along because the the port was just like 10 meters away. So we went there, and I know it knew it was our last night there. So like I said was what was on my heart basically, and I just told her basically, let's see if I can remember it. Um, yeah, I basically said the same thing. I How I noticed her, that she really caught my attention, and I thought she was very cute or beautiful. I can't remember exact what words I used. And I also told her that I don't usually say those things to just random girls I've just met. And yeah, so we after that she said like, oh, she got a bit, not flustered but flattered, and we ended up kissing. And like, to be honest, like it wasn't a great kiss. I was like, it it's where it's interesting, but I noticed just how I started like doing a very, I guess, trying to get a passionate kiss, and I've noticed that she wasn't a very good kisser, to be frank. Um, that she probably haven't kissed a lot of boys or girls or whatever. She didn't seem very experienced in kissing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good kisser either, but I would like to think I'm quite a good kisser, but I don't know. I've never asked someone I've kissed how to rate me. I don't know if I could handle getting to hear that I'm terrible at it, but I think I'm alright at least. I've gotten a lot better than when I was like 14. But yeah, I really noticed how her kissing technique wasn't so refined, but I didn't mind. Like, understandable, but we kissed for a short period, and she had like her mouth was a little bit too open, like the really like when you're trying to almost swallow the the other people whole. But I noticed then, and also noticed it a bit earlier when we spoke that maybe it's not like I was interested in her, but it wasn't love from my side. I'm very picky when it comes to girls, and not in the sense that like I see red flags and stuff like that. It's just I'm picky in the sense of it must feel right, especially just kissing must feel right for me, and it didn't feel quite right. I wanted to know her better, and I was interested in her, but in in an optimal situation or whatever to call it, I wouldn't have like tried to force it, as it was almost on. It was a little bit on her mm, incentive, incentive. Like the kiss, I noticed that she was up for it at least, so I leaned in and kissed her. But yeah, it didn't fly in the sparks from my side. It might be that she wasn't a very good kisser, but I don't think that was the problem. I just didn't get like butterflies in my stomach, and I'm looking for. I can't if it doesn't feel like right or real to me. I have a very hard time going into it a lot. So like I still enjoyed kissing her, but it wasn't like as good as it can be. I have a very hard time doing like I'm not a one night stand guy, or I could be potentially with the right girl, but as I said, I'm a little bit picky about it. So usually it's more if I actually feel that about a girl, I probably don't just want it to be a one night stand, but I'm still open for it. Like it's a possibility that I'm open for, but I think it would be very rare for me to. It's very rare for me to find a girl I actually get like this sparks flying and butterflies in my stomach, and we didn't like completely connect. I didn't feel like we did, at least. But yeah, so we kissed a bit, and afterwards it got a little bit awkward. We didn't like kiss for a very long time, but we kissed a bit, and after I didn't have anything to say really, and she didn't either. So I just looked at her and like laughed a little bit or something like that, smiled. I can't really remember, but it got a little bit like awkward after to some extent, but not too badly. Well, after that, we just decided to go up to the bar again. I maybe grabbed something to drink and stuff like that, but yeah, we hung out with them, like the whole group, and after after a while, the place was starting to close down at like 1 or 2 a.m. maybe. I'm actually gonna get some lighting down because it's getting really dark in here. But yeah, we hung out with them. I felt like all 4 of them was really cool, really nice, and I also have a very weak spot, especially like cute British girls is something I yeah, I'm weak for it simply. Either both in a romantical way to some extent, like I just love the British accents and stuff like that, but I'm very weak to people from Britain overall because it's a culture I quite enjoy, and yeah, I have British friends too, so I don't know. It's just something I got a weak spot for Britain overall. But yeah, we hang out with them and we dance, we talk, stuff like that. And the place starts to close down, and yeah, so we have this apartment we're renting, and it's quite nice. So we like ask them if they want to tag along or something like that, or if we can go to their place. And because we said that we had a lot of booze too, we had like a few liters of beers, like the Croatian beers. I fucking love them because they're in like soda bottles, more or less, the plastic bottles. You can buy like 2 liters of beers, and the beer is the Croatian beer is like it's cheap and good. Like it's so much cheaper than in Sweden, but it's still good beer. In my like Karlabachko is the brand we drink a lot of. Pivo is the word for beer in Croatian. Pivo. I don't. I'm not 100% pronounce it like perfectly, but yeah. So we decide to go to our place. We, we have beer, and we also have like we bought a box of vodka, like a 2 liter or 3 liter box of vodka we had, and we had like half of it or more left. So we go to our place. It's like 10-15 minutes walk there or something, and I can't remember if we tried to sit on the balcony for a while, but I think we do, and then get asked to like quiet down a bit or something like that. It might be another night before we actually been asked to quiet down. So we decide to like grab beer, and we also have some crisps and stuff like that. Chips, if you're more familiar with the American word for it. So we grab vodka, like alcohol, and some snacks. And we decide to find somewhere to just chill out on the beach for a while. And we do that. Uh, like we walk a really like quite far to find the spot we decide to hang on, because also a lot of places on the beach is there's like guards there because there's resorts and restaurants nearby, and and it might be like private property to some extent. So eventually, or after a while, we actually find a place to plonk down to. And we just hang out there for a while, drinking, talking, and I don't know. Like I'm trying just to know her better because, as I said, I wasn't like deeply in love then. I just found her very interesting, and I just wanted to know them better. Like I wasn't too. I was just I don't know. I guess in trying to connect with her and with them overall, but I'm talking with her, but I still have this like I want to be close to her, but at the same time it didn't feel right. It was like this very mixed feelings of the whole situation too. It was a little bit strange. Uh, so it wasn't like I'm not super proud of how I'm very bad at flirting too, or not very bad. I can be very good at it if it just feels right, but especially with the part of me like not being completely into it either. So we sit down and talk. After a while, like people split up a bit, and we end up sitting on like a pier, and my friend and yeah, we four that first met, my friend and Lucy, talked for a while, and or they talk for quite a long time, and I talked to Emmy for uh, like we stayed there on the beach for like 4 hours or something. The sun starts rising, and it's turning day simply. And I don't know, it's not going stellar. I don't know what my intentions were completely. Like I was very uncertain about the whole thing because I'm not interested in like kissing and stuff like that too much if my heart's not completely into it. I don't know, it's like it doesn't I don't gain anything from it if it doesn't feel like real. It's hard to explain. It's something I don't understand myself, but yeah, so we hang out like the whole evening or the whole night until the day rises. And after a while, we just like decided maybe time to go back. And it's quite a long walk back, like 30 minutes or so. So we'll walk home. Like it's the same group of four people. We stick together mostly. So I also talked to my friend in Swedish a bit and like asking how the night was going for him, and he said like that he really liked her, but maybe not in a romantical way, kind of the way I was feeling too. But we tried to be a little bit more intimate with each other, but it wasn't like nothing crazy at all. We only kissed a few times overall. And I was saying kind of the same thing, that I really liked her, and I just wanted like more time to know her really, and that I wasn't like completely into the whole situation, or I was into the situation, but I also thought like the romantical spin on it, like it wasn't maybe the best start. Maybe it was. I'm more I'm more of like getting to know someone really well, and then I might fall in love with them, but it's probably for the best that I didn't fall in love, because like don't long distance relationships fucking suck from my own experience. I was very young when I had a long distance relationship, only 14. And it's also my last relationship, and those things might not be a coincidence why I haven't been in relationships after that. I didn't take the breakup well at all, and I don't take things like hardships real well at all either, because I already experienced so much shit in my life. So when something crappy happens, I usually can deal with it really well. But anyway, we walk home, we talk a bit, and like after a while we start getting to this point where they say we're gonna walk this way and we are going to move another. So I just basically just ask if I should if I should follow them home, not like to get late or something like that, but just purely. And I'm trying to be very clear about that I'm just like, hey, if you it's still almost night. We met a few drunk people on the way home too, and I just like, if you want me to tag along, I can just follow you home and then go back to mines after, because I'm I'm almost 2 meters tall. Like I'm 6 feet 2 or something, which 190 centimeters tall, and I don't know, like for two British girls, a little bit tipsy, like in the early hours, like 6, there weren't a lot of people around, but we decided it should be fine because the sun has had actually risen and it probably wouldn't be too any danger simply for two girls to walk home. So we just decided to split there. We kiss a last time, and then we say goodbye simply. And yeah, so I thought that would be like the last moment I would see her, probably, but it wasn't, because the next day we actually met him on the beach. Because I think we talked about it a little bit, like saying we would stay on the beach and we might run into each other, and we did. We didn't really hang out that day either. Like, one of my friends got laid with one of the girls, and I don't know, like I don't think it was too much romantically there either, except just like a one night stand. And things can be slightly awkward when you're sober after a night like that, been just hanging out the whole night, but always alcohol's been involved. So, and also like the moment that we thought that we kind of wouldn't meet each other, possibly either. Yeah, but I like say hi to them and stuff like that. But after we're going to leave to like go back home to our villa, we actually rented where we usually stayed for the 18 days. So I just saying goodbye to all of them, saying it was very nice meeting them and stuff like that, and was hugging them goodbye, and you know, just talking a little bit. But I didn't kiss her. Like in the end, I was considering it, but I just didn't do it because also I don't know why. I also because I wasn't into the kissing so much with her, unfortunately. Like, and also like if something would have happened there, I would just think it would got a little bit harder to leave then, and probably never see her again. And it wasn't more of that. We just left off after that, and yeah. Holy shit, that was long. I dragged that out a very long time, but I'm trying just to remember it as much as possible, and I still have a lot of details I want to get down to some extent, but at the same time, not. It's just I'm trying to recall the night as much as possible and also get things straight in my head about it and actually have it here so I can remember it or parts of it. It's already a night I will probably never forget to some extent. I don't know. I just thought they were really cool and I really enjoyed their company. I just thought it was too bad that I didn't have more time to actually get to know them better. But that's life. Added her on Facebook and stuff like that, and I tried to talk with her via messaging, and it didn't go that well. For a little bit, it felt like we actually managed to connect through text to some extent, but mostly it felt like I was just fumbling in the dark. I don't really know my intentions about it either, but after a while, like a week after I got home or something, I've been trying to, I don't know, keep in touch simply, and I was feeling that it didn't go anywhere. And I got an answer like when I tried to be jokingly about something. I was like, I was very sick when I got home. Yeah, I was very sick when I got home, and like I had a cold. I think I think she had like a sore throat when we left or something like that, or when we kissed, and she probably might have actually been the reason I got the cold, but I'm not quite certain about it. I've also been drinking for 18 days straight at that point when I got home. So when I got home, I got super sick. But we stayed in Croatia for, I don't know, like 3 days more after that, I think. 4 days, 4 or 5 days after. And yeah, then I got home. I still tried to keep in touch a bit. And felt like it weren't going anywhere. And I said like a bad joke about like trying to make a metaphor or a comparison to Jesus with calling myself Sneezy Jesus. I can't really remember what my shtick was about it, but I just tried to be funny, didn't get a great response, and I was like feeling like this is not going anywhere. So I just decided not to write for a while, and I was thinking about like a week after I hadn't been writing. She hadn't been writing to me either after that. I was kind of always the one also trying to push the messages or the conversation going overall. Like, I don't know. I'm very uncertain what she felt about me, to be honest. Because I don't know if it was shyness or that she felt just the same thing about me, and we didn't like completely connect either. But I wrote that to her too because I just wanted to be very open about the whole situation, and I said like I can't. Oh, now I don't even remember what my point was. What was my point? Oh yeah, I asked her about like after how she perceived us kissing and how she if she was enjoying it or something like that. And she said that the whole thing was like good and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's just I tried to just see if she was feeling the same thing as me as at the whole kissing part weren't great, but maybe she didn't have a lot of good kisses before that, and maybe I'm a good kisser or maybe I'm not. I'm still not certain about that, but yeah, I didn't simply write to her anymore after that. I was considering just write a message a week after too, just saying that, hey, like the things I said it was true. Like I didn't just say that to like try to get get with you and stuff like that, and just trying to explain the whole situation that it didn't feel like completely right to me, and I just thought they were really cool, really nice group, but that I don't think like we would have get much out of keeping in touch via messaging or yeah, instead I just let it fizzle out because I'm a pussy and I didn't decide or didn't push myself to actually write that. But I don't know. maybe it won't surprise me if I get so hung up on these things, like I think about doing them and then I decide not to, but then I will always have them in my mind forever and kind of regret that I didn't say them to some extent. So I don't know, maybe like soon I might actually like message her and just try to explain myself, which feels dumb in a way, but I'm also trying to be very open about it, especially when I'm the older one. Like, I'm, anyways, like 4 years older, and from being 18 to 22, like, there's quite a big difference. As I mean, it's not a big difference age wise and stuff like that, but if I compare how I was when I was 18, I'm still the same person and stuff like that, but I still feel like I've learned a lot in those 4 years, and I just try to be the mature one, or try to be mature. I feel, because I didn't even say that as I was thinking, but yeah. I don't know, this has been very rambling. This is one of the longest videos I've done in a very long time. And holy shit, it's a mess. Like, I tried to really go through the whole thing of this and be very clear about stuff, but I'm just very bad at telling these kind of stories fast, or to cook them down to them bare to them to its bare essentials, or to its essentials at least. But I also wanted it to be as thorough as possible, because I'm doing this for me, and I don't know, if even though probably no one will be able to enjoy this 42 minutes video about this, of about this subject, I will, at least maybe in like a few years, just going back and looking through all the shit I've done, and it's also just helps me process the whole thing, because I'm very confused about it. It was very strange. It was awesome. Like, I don't regret anything really, and I did the best of the situation I could with like how I am, and yeah, I have just a very emotional period for me overall too. So I mean, that kind of also bleeds in when how you interact in those kind of things. So, well, yeah, I just I thought she was really awesome. I think it's too bad that it ended the way it did. Like, I could have done a lot of things better, but I don't know. I'm only human. I couldn't explain myself too well. I was, I don't know, afraid to some extent. Well, holy shit. If you've been watching this whole thing, like even listening to it in the background or whatever, I appreciate it a lot. But holy crap, this is insane how long this video is. Well, yeah, I don't have much to add. I have things to add if I would do the version even longer than I have, but I'm done at the moment. I just think it's too bad. Things fizzled out, but it's also, I don't know, also just practice for me to be more, to actually dare to do stuff like that, to actually try to, I don't know, to be open to random girls in that way. It's usually I usually don't flirt in that way too much, and it's something I just want to improve in, because it might lead to to that I actually meet someone I really like. And I don't know, it's been a very long time since I've felt that connection with someone. It's like, it's when I was 14 last, I actually felt in love, and I felt also that I knew she were in love with me too, and it was like perfect. And I can't settle for anything less since then. I was very fortunate to experience like true love at that age. 14. even though we was young then, like it was very real. It's basically what I perceive as love, and it's probably a little bit fucked up that I based I've based what love is for me from what I thought was love when I was 14, but it felt right back then, and this didn't feel completely right. So, yeah, if you watch this whole thing or listen to it, kudos to you, good job. And now you know how I work in romantic situations or half romantic situations a lot better. If how that's supposed to help you in any way, shape, or form, I don't know. But it might do. Like, I'm just very curious if anyone will ever watch this entire thing, but because holy shit. If I would actually edit this down, this could be so much better and concise, but I also want just to be better at telling you these kind of stories and maybe not do them for 45 minutes, but talking in quantity. I want to improve my quality of talking, but then I also need to tell these super long stories to eventually be able to tell them better. And it's also for me, as I said, I want to archive the experience to some extent, but still, I'm going in circles a lot, and there's a lot of things I would be able to do it better, cut it down at least 15 minutes, and still get the same content in it. Yeah, well, thanks for watching. If you have, like, I fucking love you. If you have, like, if someone eventually watches this, I can't comprehend how much I appreciate it, even though you might hate me or whatever I do. I don't at this point. If you watch this entire thing, even like at twice at speed or something like that, I watch a lot of videos in twice speed or at least 1.25 or 1.50 times speed. But holy shit, thank you. Thank you. Write a comment. I don't know. Maybe I don't even do YouTube when you actually find this. It might be in a few years. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate it anyhow. Well, holy shit, almost 50 minutes. I gotta stop. Well, goodbye. This was a thing.